Hello and welcome to the Knit Sip Happy podcast. This is episode 37. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you today from the east coast of Canada, just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick. Hello, how have you been? It is a Saturday. I should be working today, but we are taking the day off. Canada Day is Monday, July 1st, so we usually stay closed on the Saturdays of those long weekends so we can enjoy them as well, because Mondays we're always closed and those are my regular days off. So we're a bit cheeky and we're closed. Our customers know this. I am going to, let's get the administration stuff over with first. I'm going to put a screen up here to tell you where you can find me on the internet. I am Knit Sip Happy everywhere. And please feel free to reach out to me anywhere. Always happy to chat. This is my 2-year Podiversary episode. 2 years ago, it was actually June 25th. Today is June 29th, but June 25th was the first time I uploaded a podcast to this channel. And I am loving being here and hanging out with you. And thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to have a little giftaway later on to celebrate this 2-year Podiversary. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So we're going to do the standards. This is a standard episode. I've got FOs, whips, dream knitting, some spinning, the giftaway, and chit chat, and a little acquisition, but not too much. So first thing, the last video that was posted to this channel was the sweater modifications that I make for my pear shape. And I will link it. I can't remember which side. I will link it up there for you. There'll be a little card that you can link right through to it if you haven't seen it yet and you're interested. This was by popular request from viewers asking how I do all the modifications to my sweaters to get the fit and what I do. So I have been promising you this video for a while. I finally got around to doing it and uploaded it, and I've had the most amazing feedback. I was quite nervous about uploading it because it's not my usual sip and chat and just, have a grand old time. I wanted to make sure I was precise and giving you the correct information, and yeah, so I do appreciate the feedback and all the views and likes and comments to that. Thank you. And if you're interested, as I said, it'll have been linked up there. It'll also be linked below. Oh yeah. Everything I talk about will be linked in the description box down below. So if you click on the more with the little arrow, that'll take you to full show notes with everywhere you can find me as well, but also links to all of my Ravelry pages and everyone that I talk about. And if for whatever reason any of those links don't work, just shoot me a message and I'll get that fixed right up for you. All right, let's do what I'm wearing first because I'm not in my correct setup yet, which is why I'm kind of looking weirdly all over the place. I want to stand up and show you what I'm wearing, and then I will pause you and I will get myself better set up with the camera, and we'll go from there. So what I'm wearing today is Naveen. I haven't shown this one for a while. It is full summer here, so all the t-shirts and summer garments have come out. The winter ones have mostly been washed and put away. But this is Naveen by Kate Oates. And why I picked this pattern, beyond a lovely V-neck, is this action in the back. It has built-in A-line shaping. Can you hear me? It has built-in A-line shaping with these eyelets that run from the back down. So it's a bit of a high-low hem as well. So it does a high-low, but these eyelets are what intrigued me with this design. And this is knit in Illimani Sabri. I can't remember the color. The project page will be linked below. I'm going to pause 1 second and we'll keep talking about this, but I just want to get into position and stop talking to you from out of shot. Okay, I'm back and I'm situated. I do have the overhead lights on again. It is cloudy, sunny, so it was too dark for me to leave the overhead lights off. Okay, Naveen, this was, I really enjoyed this knit. It's kind of got a set, not a set-in sleeve. Is it a contiguous? I can't remember. I'm not overly thrilled with this kind of seam up on the shoulder, but when it's sitting, you don't really notice it. It's more just when you're side onto it, I find it a bit more visible. But I love the V-neck on this. I knit this in, I think it was the summer of 2022 when I started this channel. So you may have seen it then. I can't remember if I've worn it since on the podcast. But all of my notes would be in my Ravelry page. I know I had an issue with row gauge for this because the back ended up being way too long. So I had to rip back and adjust the rate of increases to get the A-line shaping in the amount of space that I had. So that's what I'm wearing. What I'm drinking, you've already seen, is my favorite Pinot Noir Rosé that I'm just loving this year. It's supposed to get to 23 or 24 this afternoon. I'm going to head out to the tent after I finish talking to you. We would be out in the tent hanging out together today, but I'm just going to insert a little video footage for you here to explain why we're not. Can you hear that awful noise? Future son-in-law Rob has come up with his truck, and him and Brad are cutting metal and grinding and sanding and making all kinds of manly noises out in the garage. And it's right beside the screen room. Well, the deck is right beside the screen room. The garage is right beside the deck where the screen room is. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so unfortunately we are not outside today enjoying the wind blowing through the trees. I do have quite a bit of laundry out there though, so that might have been distracting. I did manage to bring in some peonies and sweet peas from my garden before we've had some massive rains, and peonies are so quick and you get any rain or wind on them and they're just... So I cut them and cut the buds and brought them in, and they're doing quite well. They're just starting to open, which is great. We're having a bit of a family dinner tonight. Sam and Rob, as I said, are here. Well, Rob is here. Sam is still coming with Archie a little later on. If I'm not finished editing and uploading by the time Archie gets here, there may be some Archie footage coming at the beginning or the end of the video. I'm not sure. But shall we get on to some knitting? I've got a chitter chatter section coming on. I'm already chatting and rambling. Chatting and rambling. That was the hardest thing with the sweater modification video, was staying on task, staying on track. Okay, let's start with some FOs. So we're going to, it's all socks. Spoiler alert, it's all socks. So, when I was editing the sweater video, I realized how much I say so, and I think it's just my brain trying to catch up with my mouth, and it needs a bit of a break. I'm endeavoring to not, but I end up catching myself lots and lots. So these are the Fairy Lights vanilla socks I cast on last autumn as a gift for a family member in the UK, and I was going to mail them. But then I knit them cuff down with just a contrast heel and toe. If I had done a contrast cuff, I would have had enough yarn, but I ran out of yarn right here at this green stripe. Actually, it might have been partly through the turquoise. I ran out somewhere in around here and was not happy just doing a full turquoise toe all the way up there. My lovely friend Catherine, who is a test knitter for my patterns, we were talking at Knit City, Toronto, and she said she'd bring me a little scrap. It is the sparkly version of Fairy Lights. You can't pick it up in the camera, and it really isn't that noticeable. So this is, Fairy Lights by West Yorkshire Spinners. It's one of their Christmas colors. I have a full pair of socks in this, but I thought I could knit a pair of leftovers, but I did the leg way too long and didn't do the contrast and ran out of yarn. So this has been sitting in timeout since October, maybe? I can't remember when I started them. But I have put in the sparkle base, as I said, which is really not noticeable at all, definitely not on camera and hardly in person as well. And I have a pair of not quite matching socks. Actually, no, no, they don't match. They are sisters, not twins. But I like that it looks like it's intentional, not that it's a mistake. So these are finished and they will go into the gift pile for when I see this person, or I will pop them in the mail. Not sure which yet. I also finished off, these were quite close. These are gift socks for my son, Zach. This is using Turtle Pearl yarns. Oh, it's a Big Bang reference. Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. And I used the contrast color that came with the sock set in the blue. And what I've done is I've used my garden fence pattern just to give it a little bit of interest. And I really like the effect on the self-striping. So these are also a Christmas gift and will be going away. I was working on, these were all whips last time, except for the fairy lights, which you haven't seen since the fall. This is also another pair that I finished. This is my Put a Little Love in Your Heart socks. And I'm using Ginger Snap Yarns Bee Balm is the main color. And I used Titty Gaga from Yarn Indulgences as my leftovers, as my contrast. So there it is again. Maybe that's the new drinking game. Instead of looking at the camera, maybe it's when I say so, it's a drinking game. What I did, I modified this pattern to just do the original pattern. It's not up there. I'll put a picture. Uses 6 micro mini skeins from Ginger Snap. It was a design for Knit City, Toronto, and Rainbow Pride kind of themed. So it had 6 garter stripes, 2 rows of hearts, and 6 garter stripes, and then into the foot. I just decided to shorten it a little bit because I was only using the one color. I did 3 garter stripes, just 1 set of the hearts, 3 garter stripes, a little more leg, into the heel flap and gusset, down the foot, and into the wide stripes. Again, I just did 3. So you can see there's little pops of pink and orange and yellow in this gray black variegated yarn. It's really pretty. I really enjoyed knitting it because you're just getting these fun pops of color as you're knitting. So these are for me. They will go into my sock rotation when it is sock season again. And the last FO I have for you today is the pair of shorties that I showed you last time. So this is using the Creative Knitter Sand Dune colorway that was a color for Knit City, Toronto, and the leftovers of Cami Jo Knits Mocha Rose. I did these toe up because I wanted to be smart and not run out of yarn. You know, if you were here last time, I had run out of yarn. So I'll show you the fix. So as I said, I worked these toe up. This is my tits up pattern. It was the fundraiser for breast cancer last year. And I just modified it to be a shorty. Yeah, I just modified it to be a short version. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel and with the mini gusset. You can see right here. So what that means is when I started the Fish Lips Kiss heel, I did increases, 4 increases across the bottom of the heel to make this, instead of being 32 stitches, it's now 36 stitches. I worked a Fish Lips Kiss heel for a 36 stitch, and then I decreased those stitches out in a gusset. So that's the next video that's coming. A lot of you have requested a video to show how I'm doing that. So I will be doing that perhaps I will try in July. We'll get to some stuff in live chat about the craziness of the speed of my life right now. So I'm going to show you the leg of both of these socks. So I had run out of the Mocha Rose, I think, 2 rows. I think I'd only gotten 2 rows after the heel. So this is the Mocha Rose all the way through, that little short leg. And this is the color that I found in my stash from here up. So I only needed, 7 rows, 6 rows So what I did, actually, I was going to show you all the leftover yarns. Hang on. So what I did, I found in my stash, I'm going to put a picture in here of how it looked in the skein, but this is from my stash, from a collection that I bought a while ago, and I've always felt it's too precious to knit. It is from Camp Fiber Yarns from Alberta in Canada, and this was a Winnie the Pooh collection. So this is Pooh Bear. I love Winnie the Pooh. I love Eeyore as well. Have you seen the new Dot Pebbles Eeyore toy? I'll put a picture in up here. It just released, I think, yesterday or the day before. I have never wanted to knit any of the Dot Pebbles because I know it's knitted flat and quite fiddly, but that Eeyore may change my mind. It may. It may not. I may just thoroughly enjoy all of the video and photo content that's hitting social media right now, but oh my God, it's so cute. Anyway, Pooh Bear. I will put a picture of the skein in what it looked like. This is what it looks like caked up. So it is definitely brighter and has more red and dark tones in it for Pooh Bear's shirt. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. So that is what I used. Oh yeah, there's little hits of black in there too. You can kind of see there's a black speckle right there for Pooh Bear's eyes. So like I said, it is definitely not the same color, but I think it's a pretty good fix, and I don't think most people would even notice that I changed the yarn. And now I have this caked up and I'm like, ooh, Pooh Bear. I also have the set of minis up there in my stash with all of the characters, including my beloved Eeyore. So this is a pair, it's a gift for a friend. And whenever I see her next, I will gift those to her. I did want to show you, hang on 1 second, I'm already getting into a mess down here. I did want to show you Bee Balm in the cake. So I have loads left for another pair of socks. I haven't weighed it, to be quite honest, but I definitely will be using that. And I still have quite a bit of the Titty Gaga original skein left there as well. But I've gotten behind. If you've been around for a while, you know that I knit little mini nano socks. I'll put a picture in up here. They're back there. I don't want to try and reach back and grab them. No, they're not. They're back there. Right there. Little nano socks I knit out of all of the yarns that I've designed socks in, and I put them on my Christmas tree last year, and it brought me so much joy. So it's a great little thing I'm trying to do with all of my leftover socks from designs that I've done, as a visual kind of reminder of this journey, this crazy journey that I'm on. So that was the leftovers for that. Oh, and this is the leftovers from the Turtle Pearl. So I'm going to have to weigh these up. I probably have enough to do a small pair of shorties for somebody. I may have to pull in a gray or something because I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't weighed it. So I need to weigh this mini because that would probably only do 2 toes. I might need to grab some of the light gray or neutral or green, something for heels and cuffs. And I could probably get a little pair of shorties out of that. But as I said, I haven't weighed it. So right now it's probably just going into a bag into my stash. That is it for FOs. And we're going to move on into whips. Thankfully, there's other things other than socks. We're going to start with, in this beautiful Blueberry Fields bag that was very kindly gifted to me from Monique. She sent me 2. One of them was used as a giveaway for the knit along that I had back in the spring, winter, spring. Time is a crazy thing these days. So this is, I still have a piece of fluff. Excuse me. This is using Sadness Garn Tin Lena in the colorway Boring. It's the colorway 1015, this beigey, creamy, oatmeal-y kind of color that is totally up my Samantha's alley and not up mine. She made a comment the other day, and she has a valid point. I complain about knitting her these neutral colors. I bought this without her asking me because I knew she'd love the color. So it's pretty cheeky of me to complain about knitting it when I bought the damn yarn. So this is the end of the third ball. I have two more, and this is the Surrey shirt by Kadri. This looks like the side for my pictures today. Pictures and text, so there will be a picture, the designer picture up there. And let me show you what this looks like. So this is knit top down. So I've made quite a bit of progress since I saw you last. I'm sure I had this on the needles. No, hang on. I can check my notes. No, this was just dream knitting, so you guys haven't seen this at all. So this is, it's a drop shoulder looking design, just a t-shirt. And you start at the back and work the back, and then you pick up the front and work down the front, then you join them, join front and back under the arms, and then you're working in the round. So before the arms, it's all worked in the flat with all of the increases and pick up for the neck and the increases for the shaping for the sleeve to bring it out for the body. So what I did when I finished the ball, I flipped to in the round, and when I finished that second ball, what I did was I went back and I picked up the sleeve stitches and did the ribbing. Same with the neckband and the other ribbing. So this is 2x2 ribbing, which is not my favorite to knit. I find 1x1 more engaging and intuitive for me. 2x2 I really have to think about. So I went back and did this first because before it was quite open. I'll put a picture and I put on Instagram. You can kind of see a more of a progress shot before I did the pickups for the neck and the ribbing for the sleeves, because I wanted to see and how much it brought it in and tightened it in. So this is 2x2 ribbing and then an Italian sewn bind off. So in order to do an Italian sewn bind off on 2x2 ribbing, you have to convert it to 1x1. So the last round of the ribbing, what I did was I was knit one, I had to reorient them to be knit one, purl one. And I think it looks okay. I was a little worried as I was doing it that I could see the kind of transition, but nobody's going to notice that. And it does give that really nice edging. So I did that for all of the ribbing. I converted to 1x1 for the Italian sewn bind off. So this has been put on hold this week because I'm getting to the point where I really need Sam to try this on for length. She's quite short torsoed, and I just want to see, because there's 2 inches of 2x2 ribbing. I think it's 2 inches of 2x2 ribbing at the bottom. So I just need to, I put this on hold until I see her later today, and I'll get her to try them on. Right now it's still just sitting on my Hiya Sharps. These perhaps were not the best needles to knit this yarn with. I'm finding it quite splitty. I think I should have used my Chowgoos and my Zings. I've got another sweater quantity of the Sadness Garnlina. I'm looking down at it. The Tin Lena, and I don't think I need to remind myself not to use the Hayas. But once I started, I didn't want to switch in case it changed my gauge. Sometimes the materials of your needles and the shape of your needles can change your stitch or row gauge. So this is on hold at the minute. I will be seeing her in the next few hours, and then I will be able to start this. So next time you see this, it will be finished. Yeah. All right. It's nice having something. It's strange. I don't mind vanilla round and round on the body of a sweater. I despise it in a sock. For the most part. let me show you the exception to the rule here. This is a pair of shorties that I have showed you quite a few times now. I had cast them on to do a tutorial for closing up the hole on the gusset on the heel, and realized that this yarn was entirely too busy to do that, to show that technique properly. So I've put a little tutorial out for a different way to close up the corner of a heel, whether you're doing it as a fish lips heel, a short row heel, or a heel flap and gusset. So I'll link that video. I'll put an info card up there to link it if you're interested in seeing that. It's a much cleaner, tidier way to close up that hole. In all of my patterns, except for the last 3, I've recommended picking up the latter 2 rows down in the corner, because when you do your heel, the corners inevitably get stretched out. Do I have a sock to show? No, I don't. Inevitably get stretched out. So it's nice to be able to have a different way to bring those 2 sides of the fabric together. You're still picking up an extra stitch that you have to decrease out, but it's a much more efficient way of doing it. So that will have been linked above. But as you can see, I have a finished sock. So this is a hoe. This is just a vanilla shorty for my son's girlfriend, Cassandra. She really liked the shorties I gave for her birthday. So I'm like, perfect shorties from here on out, for the most part. So I had this Patton's Croix. This is Fiesta Jacquard in my stash. So it's Patton's Croix in the Fiesta Jacquard colorway. So I finished one sock last night. I'm also using this Sadness Garn Sisu in color 4624, because the pink, that's where the heel, I've done the heel flap in the Sisu, and this pink is part of the Patton's Croix, and they are exactly the same. They are the same color. You wouldn't know I had changed yarns, but I did. So that was excellent. And I also used the Sisu on the toe. So Patton's Croix is more of a sport weight yarn. The yardage is, they're 50-gram balls, and your yardage is 166 yards. So 330 for 100 grams. So 330 yards for 100 grams for me falls definitely into a sport range. So I have done these on a 2.5 millimeter needle instead of my usual 2.25. All of my socks are knitted on 2.25 millimeter needles unless I tell you otherwise. This is on 2.5 because the yarn is much, much thicker. So I knit them on my 9-inch circular shorties and then magic looped the toe. I do the heel flap also on the 9-inch circular. I find that really easy to do. So one finished. My dilemma is, this is where the pattern repeat started for the top of the sock. So I have 50 grams. I think I have another ball or a part ball in my stash. I meant to look before I started to speak to you and I didn't. So I've got this skein left. So do I just say, doesn't matter, the stripes line up where the stripes line up, but then I'm not going to get this amazing heel transition. And I'm trying to decide if I care enough to do that. So I finished this last night about 9:30. I had a very busy day from work. So I just finished off the sock and the toe, and I was going to cast on the second sock right away. That's what I normally do. If I get it cast on and start the ribbing right away, I find it much easier to keep going. I couldn't decide if I really wanted to pull out this much yarn and then having to reattach it to be able to use it, because this isn't going to be enough if I do that, obviously. Yeah, but this is only going to be an offset. So this kind of pattern section, that would be the ribbing. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, which means the heel would probably end up somewhere in the pink, in this darker pink. So, yeah. this kind of went into holding last night. I'll make a decision over the weekend because I'm off today, tomorrow, Monday. Yeah, I'm off today, tomorrow, Monday. And I'll make a decision over the next couple of days and cast on. As I said, I need to toss my stash over there and see if I have another skein or part skein. I know I've knitted a pair of these socks for somebody already. I can't remember how many of these balls I originally had. So investigation will be done, and I will let you know next time because they'll be finished. One way or the other, they'll be finished. Another pair of socks I have on the needles is a gift pair for one of my employees. He loves his hand knit socks. And I always like to make sure he has a pair for Christmas. So I am knitting this out of James C. Brett Funny Feet. This is, I bought 2 skeins of this in different colorways at Len's Mill when I was in Ontario for Knit City, Toronto. And this is an interesting yarn. So it's traditional sock yarn. It's 400 meters, 436 yards, where it feels, it's got a very different hand. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it to start, but I think it might be growing on me. And I'll be really interested to see, well, to see how it wears. I won't know how it wears because it's going to somebody else. The content is 50% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, 25% bamboo. And it has a sheen to it. And it has it's got a weird kind of rustic but silky feel to it. It's really hard to explain. So this is the colorway FZB as in Bob 23. It will be, as I said, I have a project page. It's browns and turquoises and beiges and a shot of red, which I wasn't sure how that was going to work out, but I think I like it. So this is also a hoe. And I knit Denny's socks. I do a 68 stitch for him. He's got a narrower leg and foot, so 72 stitches is too much. So I have kind of created a couple side panels down each side of the sock, just to keep me from being bored. You can see there's a problem with the dyeing right there because it's gone white. But again, I don't, people who don't know may think that it's part of the design. So I did not use any contrast here because, oh, the other thing is the camera going to pick this up? Yes, a little bit. So you can see this big chunk of brown. Can you see right here where my finger is? It's slightly lighter. I think that's a misdye. I think it was supposed to be this brown and another brown in the center, but a different color because, and it happens twice in these big sections there. You can see it a little bit better. It's kind of a grayier brown on the outside and a reddier brown in the middle. So Knit Picks Felici is kind of famous for this, having stripes that are way too close to each other, right next to each other, and you kind of wonder, was it intentional or was it a misdye? This has got to be a misdye. This can't be intentional. From a distance, it just looks like big chunks of brown. So I just decided to let the yarn do what it was going to do because it was doing it anyway. It had a mind of its own and just went with it. And so I did the heel flap and in the main color, the ribbing in the main color, and also the toe. And it just, everything landed where it landed. I wasn't precious about it. So I've got the details of this on my Ravelry page, but basically all I have done is knit 1, purl 1, and then I've done the skip panel, SKYP. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Skip socks, simple skip socks. I'll have a picture and have it linked below. And it uses this technique all the way across. I didn't want that much to do. I just wanted something to keep me distracted. So I just put 2 of these skip panels on the front of the sock on each end. So I have it written down in my project page. But basically skip stands for slip, knit, yarn over, pass, which is pass the slip stitch over. So it's a 2-stitch combo. So you slip the first stitch, knit 1, make a yarn over, and then you slip the slip stitch over the knit and the yarn over, and it makes this kind of zigzag effect. And it's sitting in between 2 knit stitches. So basically I've done purl 1, knit 2, do the skip combo, knit 2, purl 1. And the next round, you just knit those skip stitches. So it's purl 1, knit 6, purl 1, done. If you want the written instructions, it's in my project page. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, and this is, you know, kind of a popular thing. So that is the full one, and I have started number 2. So this is fairly close to vanilla for me. I've just got about an inch of the pattern, so these will probably be done also next time I see you. I said I'm trying to throw in the man socks as I go. I did color manage, so this is what I wound off. Again, because of this strange brown, so the blue, I finished on the brown. Well, this is the blue and the brown right here, so I had to wind off quite a bit. So this is what is wound off. If I need to join it in and use it later to finish up the sock, I will. I don't know, hard to say. 100 grams, I should have leftovers from 100 grams. I did pull a contrast yarn because I thought it would have gone well with it. And this is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering and the Agate Heather. It's just a nice neutral. And I thought it really would have worked well with it if I needed it. But in the end, like I said, when I saw what the yarn was doing, I just decided to let it do its thing. This is being housed in a project bag from Maple Mousse Fibers. Michelle, this is one of the first project bags I ever bought, and she is in St. John, New Brunswick, and she has been making bags again for local markets, and I think she's been selling them on Instagram, but not through a shop, I don't think. But as I said, this is one of my first project bags with the Union Jack, and I just love it. Okay. Next is my hint of summer. I had said to you last time I thought this was going to come out of hibernation, and it did. So I am working on from Holst Coast. That's coming out way too blue. It's more kind of a dark tealy color. It is Kingfisher Holst Coast, and this is 50% wool, 50% cotton, 55, excuse me, wool and 45 cotton. Yes, I'm reading there's a little tag on the inside. I'm going to have enough. I've already knit a garment in this held with mohair. I'm going to have enough for another garment in this Holst Coast. So Kingfisher color. So I don't know what it'll be because I'm almost done this sweater. So as I said, this is Hint of Summer by Isabel Kramer. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I have modified it a lot. A lot. All of my notes will be in my Ravelry project page, and we'll go through all of the details on that when I finish it. The first thing I did was I made the V-neck less deep. I made it a little more shallow. It's a drop shoulder design. You know I don't like drop shoulder designs, but as I've told you before, Anina of NAUT Knits has very clever decreases in the underarms. You can you see that curve right here? So those decreases bring the body of the sweater closer to my body and make it less SpongeBob SquarePants and a little more following my curves, which I like. So this has no yarn attached to it at the minute. I have done the sleeves. I've just done them a 3/4 length with no decreases to leave them open. I'm planning this to be kind of a transitional, a light summer, springy kind of garment with a tank top underneath probably. Coast is very thin. It's a lace weight, but it still has the spinning oil in it. So this is going to plump and fluff right up when I block it. I was really hoping to have this washed and blocked by the time I saw you, but I have to pick up the neckband all the way around and finish off this V-neck, and I just didn't have it in me. It's been a crazy work week, and I just did not have trying to organize the ratio pickups. I haven't even looked. I'm sure Isabel Kramer has very good patterns. She will tell me what the ratio is for the pickup. Because I modified the V-neck, mine's going to be different. So I just needed to have a brain about me for this. So I just finished off the edges with 2 purl rounds and 3 knit rounds, and then it just kind of will bounce back a little bit, kind of casual. Same on the bottom. I didn't do any ribbing. I just did the 2 purl rows and the 3 knit rounds and bound off loosely. I have done my A-line increases all the way down the side. I just took out the stitch markers, so I can't really show you, but you can kind of see that's the angle of the decreases. I had started the increases about 4 inches underneath the armpit, and I've just gone down about every inch or so. And you can look at my sweater modification did a video for all of the details for that. Yay, I can finally say that. If you have any questions about how I modify my sweaters, they're all there. If it's anything specific, I will tell you when I show you. Woo! So yes, I need to pick up this neckline and give it a good soak in some very warm water with soak. Don't agitate it because I got to get the spinning oil out of it. This is going to require multiple run-throughs of water and soak to get the spinning oil out of it. And I will be wearing this next time if it's not too hot. If not, I will just show you some modeled shots, but I'm really happy with this. I love this color. And where it's got the cotton, it is quite soft. I can easily wear this to skin, close to skin. I held it with mohair the last time in my Trescow, which I didn't wear this past winter because it didn't fit me. It was too small. So I'm hoping maybe next winter I'll be able to wear it. But there's still, yeah, I've never had the coast. Have I ever done a coast on its own? I'll put it on the screen if I have. Anyway, so this has come back and I've done quite a bit of work on this again because it was just nice, easy vanilla in the round. I didn't do any decreases on the sleeves, so I didn't have to think about that. I had my increase rate set up on my body, so I knew how I was doing that. It was every seven rounds I was increasing 4 stitches on either sides of the stitch marker. So yeah. I will show you this finished next time, and I apologize for not having it done because it's so close to being done. Can't wait. Can't wait, can't wait. And my last whip, I'm just going to show you. I'm not really sure where this is going. There's no design chat section on this video because I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to have time to be doing anything for a while. Life has kind of gotten on top of me between work and the wedding, and I just can't see how I'm going to be able to do it. But never say never. I have hopes for something in September. My original thought was I was going to get a shorty pattern out in July, and it's just not going to happen. But I thought I would show you this. This is, I caked up Dream Room from Turtle Pearl with the yellow mini that came with it. It's just lovely. So good. And I have cast on, as I said, possibly a design. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It's kind of got some garter stripes, but it's got some interesting movement in here. I said this is as far as I've gotten. It has potential. I'm not sure where it's going yet. But I wanted to be upfront and let you know design chat isn't going to be around, I don't think, unless something really strikes my fancy and it has to happen. It isn't going to happen for a while. Because. Yeah. With the wedding this summer and just it's at the 20th anniversary of our small business this year, so we're doing a lot of special events and promotions and things to celebrate 20 years as a small business. That's an amazing feat. And in this economic climate, the fact that business is still so strong for us, we are eternally grateful. And yeah, that was somewhere I didn't think I was going. Let's talk some dream knitting. Dream knitting. I am summer garment obsessed, except for Unwind Knitting. I'm going to put some of her pictures up here. Unwind Knitting had a new pattern that came out, and I can't even remember the name. I'll have it on the screen, with colorwork bands. And I bought it instantly because I'm planning a cardigan in the fall. I don't think I want it as a t-shirt, but it might be fun as a v-neck sweater as well. But my original thought was, it's knit flat anyway. The body of everything, it's knit flat because you seam it in the center. That v-neck is where it's seamed. So even if I did a t-shirt or sweater, I'd still be knitting it flat. So if that's the case, I may as well knit a cardigan. So I think I'm going to knit a fall, winter fingering weight, you know I love my fingering, cardigan in that pattern. So that has been tickling on the radar, but I'm not knitting that now because it's summertime. I want to be knitting summer things. So let me just move some things around. My yarn is down here. Oh, and some there. So I had talked last time about, I can't remember if I'd shown you this, Sadness Garn Lena. It is, I believe, called Graphite. It's a very dark charcoal gray, and you can see this yellow highlighter. I got this from La Violette last year in Bouctouche before they closed, and I have a bag of this. I think I have 9 skeins, but I have 2 skeins that are different dye lot. So I need to make sure they're used knitting helically or sleeves or something needed to be done separately. So yeah, this is the DK weight Lena. The one I'm doing for Samantha is the fingering weight, the tin Lena. And I have an open shopping cart in Galt, a House of Yarn. Oh, I don't know if I'll get this up. They have a 20% off sale, Galt House of Yarn in Ontario. They have a 20% off sale going right now on their website and their shop. It ends June 30th, which is tomorrow, Sunday. So this may be too late, but I have some fun colors of this in the DK weight for different things I'm thinking about. Dream knitting that way. I'd like to do another Sunshine Coast. I've picked the really bright, is it called Kelly green or bright green? The emerald green. I'll put a picture in here. I've picked that bright green because I thought that would be stunning with a pair of jeans, which is primarily what I wear out in the world. In the summer, I do like dresses, but in the winter or those transitional seasons, because it's DK, but it is, the makeup of this is linen, cotton, viscose. So I've got that in my shopping cart, and then to knit another Lotus Lake tee that I had put a picture of Instagram earlier. I have it in this really lovely minty bluey green. I found a really pretty pinky mauve color that I think I want for that. I'm also waffling between this one as well. Anyway, that's the cart has been active and live in my profile on their website for almost a week because I cannot decide. I can't decide. So, but this I have decided. It was originally going to be a Tankard tee, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I want to knit, I've always wanted to knit this Heidi Kiermaier Buttercup. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it has the A-line shaping that you know I love, and I love Heidi Kiermaier's designs. Yeah, so it's got this kind of sweetheart neckline that happens because of the lace and the pickup. So I'm really interested to try it. I was going to do Sunshine Coast in this, but Sunshine Coast has really interesting increases down the side of it that I don't think would be, well, I know it won't be. My friend Catherine, who I mentioned earlier with the Fairy Lights yarn, she has done one in black and says she regrets it because you can't see the really interesting details on the side panel of that sweater. So I had gone Tankard, then I had gone Sunshine Coast, and now I'm like, let's do Buttercup because the yardage is there. And if I have leftovers from any of my other ones, I can pair the leftovers of this to do a little cami or a tank or something for Sam. yeah, I think I'm good for the yardage I'm going to need for that. But yeah, so that's on Ravelry, and that's kind of my plans for this graphite tin Lena. That's my next cast on. Once I get a Coast Hint of Summer by Isabel Kramer in the Holst Coast, once I get that neckline done and that ends woven in and blocking, this is going on the needles right away this weekend. This weekend this is happening. The other dream knitting I have for summer is I grabbed a couple of skeins of this, of Deborah from Yarn Indulgences. This is her silk and linen fingering base, which you know I love. 115 grams, 448 meters. So the yardage on this is very generous, but it is a light fingering, but perfect for loose gauge summer tops. This is going to be Laya, a summer short-sleeved Laya. You know I love my purple one because I've worn it quite a lot in the winter. This is another Isabel Kramer pattern. The light needs to come back to me. Hello. The light has not come back to me. We're just going to let it go and it'll come back in its own good time. So I want to knit a Laya t-shirt. Isabel Kramer has, there it is. Isabel Kramer has a knit along going on right now for certain summer tees. And I have this that I think will be beautiful. I was hoping to use that pink, salmony pink, but I didn't have enough yardage. So this will be Laya. And that will be my next cast on after the Heidi Kiermaier Buttercup. And then this is BC Garn Lino. I have never knit with this before. It is 100% linen. I love linen. This does feel a little stiff, a little crunchy, but that doesn't bother me. I love the finished garments so much, and I don't even mind the knitting that much. This is 150 meters for 50 grams. So technically it comes up with a sport weight, but you knit it at quite a loose gauge. So I have this, I also got from Manon La Violette when she closed last year. She only had 5 of this salmony pink color, which is $40, I think. I'll have it linked below if I can. They have 2 different tags, so that's why I'm kind of confused. This is a navy blue, which is color 50, and I think this is 40. So I have 5 of this, which isn't enough to do a garment for me, and I have 4 of this, which also isn't enough to do a garment for me. So I'm thinking of something stripy. I thought this would be fun to do something stripy. I generally don't like stripy, but I think if it's a thinner pinstripe, yeah. If you have any ideas for something fingering weight, I don't want to do the Tolsta tee. I may just take a t-shirt pattern that I know I love, the shape of, etc., and just modify it to do stripes. That's an easy modification, I think. Just need to do some calculations with the yardage. I need to swatch with it to see what size needles, and then I need to figure that out. This is on the bottom of the pile, the bottom of the list. I also have another sweater quantity of tin Lena and a bigger sweater quantity of the Lino for my aunt in England. But summer is short. I don't want to knit for somebody else. That's something that big. Selfish. I want to knit stuff for me. So yeah, this is at the bottom of the list for this summer, but if it happened, I think it would be really nice with these colors. It's blowing out a little bit. It's blowing out quite a lot now. Hang on. That's the color. It's a really nice kind of salmony pink with a really rich navy. So yeah. There. I said I need to grab one and just do a swatch and see what it looks like. And ponder. The other 2, like I said, I know exactly what I'm doing and how I'm going to do it. So that's dream knitting. There will, of course, be socks, because there's always socks. But, and if I do buy that yarn from Gold House of Yarn, if I finally make a decision, I may end up with a Lotus Lake tee on my needles as well before the end of this summer. We shall see. So next, we're going to talk some spinning. Today is June 29th. It is the kickoff for Tour de Fleece. I have not spun a darn tootin' thing today, and I haven't watched this leg of the Tour de France either. So my goal for this afternoon, it depends what time everybody gets here. Rob is already here. I hope you can't hear all of that noise. I have my door closed, but they are making a racket out in the garage. My hope is today is to get this edited and exporting. And while it's exporting, I'm going to watch some of the Tour de France and do some spinning. I struggle in Canada. It's difficult to find the Tour de France, to watch it without paying an exorbitant amount of money. So I end up, I think there's certain legs that you can watch on YouTube for free. And then I just end up watching the 8 to 10 minute recap of the day, which isn't ideal. I wish I could watch the whole leg, but reality also is I don't know if I have time to watch the whole leg every day for 20, however many days they're doing this. So I wanted to show you some a previous spin that I showed you last time. This monster skein. I finally got it measured. I have an electric eel wheel yarn counter. I'll put a picture of it here. It's by the same producer who makes my electric e-spinners. But it's a great way, instead of having to nitty-knotty and count your strands, it's a great way to count your yardage in a faster way. So I have the stats on this, and when it decides to behave itself, I need to cover my face. Come on, there it is. So this is 100% superwash merino. I did a 3-ply. It's 183 grams. I got 572 yards. So that is firmly in the DK kind of weight. But it probably runs DK to sport, as my spinning usually does. I struggle with consistency a little bit, but boy, I love doing it. See, that's a nice big fat skein there. Fat strand right there. Can you see it? But it's so pretty. I'm really happy with it. So this is going to go into my stash. I don't know what I'm going to knit with it, but... And the other one that I finished up, I showed you this as a spin in progress last time. This was from Witchcrafty Lady that I got at Southern Wool Show last year. It is called Carino, which from my understanding when I asked her about it, it is a Corriedale Merino blend. I have no other details than that. It was 108 grams. I spun this 3-ply. And I really liked this fiber. I was concerned because it was quite sticky, but the nice thing about it being a little sticky, I was able to spin it very fine because it didn't run away with me. And so I have got 456 yards out of this 108 grams. So that's firmly in a fingering weight, but of course it's going to go a little sportish every now and again, and a little maybe lace weight some other places. But for the most part, I managed to get a really nice fingering in this appley green with shots of the pinks and the blues and brown and beiges in there. Really, really happy with this. I washed it up the other day and it poofed up like crazy. So I'm assuming that's the Corriedale that gave me all the poof. It's very lofty. I just spun this my regular style, which is a short forward draw for the most part. So I didn't think I had this much air trapped in it, but it's definitely light and poofy and airy. I'm very, very pleased with this. So this also will be going into my stash to go and be done who knows what with, but I totally enjoyed the process. And when I ever get around to knitting with it, I will also enjoy that process. But I just have to realize that the spinning for me is the journey. I don't necessarily care what I'm doing with the finished object. I just want to spin. I just want to spin. So that Carino, the last spin I just showed you, came off of my wheel and I had nothing on the wheel, and I knew I was going to have a busy week and I wanted something relaxing to do. So 3 days before, I think 3 days before the Tour de Fleece, I had no business of starting a new spin, but I did because I'm a grown up and I can. Today is the first day. Doesn't mean it had to be a completely new spin. It's fine. So what I grabbed out of my stash was this fiber. I'll put a picture in up here because it's easier to show you that way, because I've already spun quite a bit of it up. It is a Superwash Merino nylon blend, 80-20 blend from my friend Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. She dyes fiber occasionally, and this blend for me allows me to knit socks from my hand spun, which brings me such joy. And it's also a really enjoyable spin. It's very silky and can be fast, but I can get it quite fine, which allows me to do a 3-ply. So this is the first bobbin. I'm spinning this on my little mini nano spinning wheel. And I've divided the fiber into thirds because I'm going to do a 3-ply. And this is the first bobbin. I'm working on the second bobbin, and that'll be what I'll play with a little later on while you are coming to YouTube at some point. So my plans for Tour de France spinning is, I brought these as well. So I'll have a sip. This fiber that I got from Fiber Goddess, who is a Calgary maker and came to Knit City, Toronto. This is Boss Ass Bleep in a 60 Polworth 40 yak combo. I have never spun with anything like this. Jen told me I needed lots of twist in this, so that's good for me because I usually put a lot of twist in my singles. This I would like to get to over Tour de Fleece. I have this gorgeous set. I showed you this was a birthday gift from my friend Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. This is a Spunky Eclectic, and it is, oh shoot, is it 100% Corriedale or Romney? There's nothing on the bag. Deborah told me, and I can't remember now. These gold and yellows and purples and little bits of gray where it transitions. I've got 3 bumps of this, I guess. I'm assuming they're 100 grams or 4 ounces each. I haven't honestly weighed them. I'd like to get started on that, again, with no plans. I have no idea what I would do with it once it's finished, but I don't care. I just want to spin it. And if you're familiar at all with Tour de Fleece, so Tour de Fleece, you set your own goals. Some groups you have to do specific things. I participate in 2 or 3 different groups on Facebook or Instagram. And you're supposed to set your own goals. So I just want to spin every day. But there's also challenge days. So on the challenge days, I try to do something different. I have taught myself to chain ply. To chain ply in previous. I've done different techniques while I was learning to play around with. And this year, my challenge is going to be, I bought these beautiful bats last year at PEI Fiber Festival from Paisley Defender, Sue. Bats are beautiful. I love looking at them. Spinning them freaks me out a little bit because you need to let the fiber do what it's going to do. I am not going to get a smooth 3-ply yarn out of this because there's different fibers and different textures, and yeah, I just need to be able to be open. Like I said, there's a little bit of silk or bamboo or something in there. That's going to be nubbly. It's not my most comfortable way to spin fiber. So my challenge is to try one of these bats and possibly do all of them. I would like to do all of them, but I need to let go of that need for a smooth 2-3 ply yarn, because I love to spin fine. I love to spin even. I like, a consistent even yarn. It just makes me happy. I just love it. And I know I'm perhaps losing the character of the handspun, but that's what brings me joy, and that's why I do it. So I need to let go a little bit and give this a try, a good try. Let it do its thing and embrace that whatever it turns out to be, it turns out to be. I will see Sue again at PI Fiber Festival in October. And before I buy any more of these things, I need to know if I like them or not. If I really don't like the spinning, then I will gift 2 of these on to somebody else and I'll just keep the one and finish it. Or maybe I won't, I'll just gift the whole lot. I don't know, but I do want to try. I want to give it a really good try and try and get past this thing in my head and my fingers, because my fingers automatically try to get all the little bubbles and nubblies out. So I need to try and be free. So this is the challenge for Tour de Fleece for me this year. So that's spinning. So next thing we're going to talk about, I'm just grabbing it from the bottom of my basket because it's been here since December. Giftaway. As I mentioned at the top of the podcast, this is, I've just started my 3rd year of coming here and chatting and all of these shenanigans and rambling with you. June 25th, I uploaded my first ever episode, full episode. I'd only ever uploaded a tutorial before to this channel. And I wanted to have a giveaway for this prize. If you watched Vlogmas, you will have already seen this. I won a giveaway last year from Polka Dot Creek, who is a Canadian maker. They are also in Alberta. This is their self-striping sock set based on Christmas Vacation, the Chevy Chase movie. If you watch Vlogmas, you will have heard me say, I don't really like that movie. That's not my kind of Christmas vibe. And I don't be coming at me. We all like different things. And that is not my vibe. So this set came with a super cute, even if I don't like it, I know, I've watched it. I've watched it before. So I know the characters and the references behind everything. And with all the lights, fun lights on the inside. So I have been saving this to be able to give away for a special occasion. And we're coming into Christmas in July, I thought this was a great time to do it. So this is the Podiversary giveaway. I will put some other bits and pieces in this bag probably. So we will have one winner to win this set from Polka Dot Creek that I won last year in a giveaway. And I thank them for sending it to me. And I'm happy to be able to send it on to somebody who's going to love it more. I didn't think of, I know what it's going to be. Of course it's going to be. What's your favorite Christmas movie? We're coming into Christmas in July. What's your favorite Christmas movie? That's the prompt. If you want to enter to give this away, to receive this, tell me what your favorite Christmas movie is. And I will do a random comment picker next time I record. And I will announce the winner there. So the term giftaway doesn't seem to be grabbing the spam bots and the bad people. But I'm just going to say this again. I will never contact you through the comments or via any other way. I will never ask you for money for shipping or anything else. The only way that the winner will be announced is when I'm here next time, I will put a screenshot up and I will say your name. If anybody comments or responds to your comment below after this video is up and live, if anybody replies to you, that is spam. Please report it and don't give them any of your personal information. I will only announce the winner for this sock set on the next episode that will happen in July. So let's talk about July. I don't think I'm going to be able to get back here until later in July for various reasons. Wedding is coming quickly. My youngest daughter, Sam, is getting married August 3rd. And we also have our wedding anniversary coming up in July. And I'd like to have a couple of days with Brad to do something. And he teases me because we live in the house alone. I'd like to get away. I'd like to go to Halifax. Our Halifax that didn't happen for my birthday in April. I'd like to get to Halifax for 2-3 days and just be out of our own space. Because when we're in our own space, we do our own things and we do our regular things. We are creatures of habit. I want to get us out of our rhythm, out of our groove, and do something fun. So I'm hoping to get away. As I said, our business is busy, which is fantastic. We've got prep coming for the wedding, so there's a lot going on. So I'll either be here somewhere around the 21st, but that could be the weekend we're going away, or it could be more like the 27th. I will, yeah, that's what it's looking like. So heads up if you're entering. We're in the year 2024. Lots of people watch me after the fact. So this giveaway is going to be ending somewhere towards the end of July in 2024. And yes, that. I expect to have another giftaway in the next episode as well. I am getting very close to 5,000 subscribers. Hello, all of you people. Thank you. That seems like an amazing big round number, and that will be something to celebrate as well. So I am putting together, I will have two gift packages to gift away in July when I come to see you. If I've hit 5,000, I should, the way things are going. But if you're here and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, comment below, all of that stuff you always hear from us, because it does help us get seen. And it does make crazy people like me who like to see numbers, round numbers, happy. Our car hit 80,000 kilometers the other day, and I was like, whoo, I was driving it. It felt like a party. Weirdo. So, giftaway. Tell me your favorite. I'm almost out of wine, which means I need to wrap this up. Tell me your favorite Christmas movie, and I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine now. It's Love Actually or White Christmas. If you've been around, I have probably mentioned this before, but I love Love Actually, and I also love the old school cheesiness of White Christmas. So those are my favorites. Oh, and also I do like The Holiday with Cameron Diaz. I do love The Holiday, and Jude Law looking at his finest. So I'm going to do a quick acquisition and chit chat section. I don't have much for acquisitions. I have this beautiful skein of yarn indulgences. Let's blow this out. Sock marl. In the Seaside colorway. Oh, I love this. It's greens and purples and blues and beiges. Think the seaside. Think colorful shells. Think, water up on the sand. It's... Deborah sent this over for me to knit a sample sock. So I'm pondering what I'm going to do for that. But she tells me there's no rush. But I'm instantly always thinking, I need to wind this up because it's gorgeous and it's just so soft. Anywho, so that came into my life as a very kind gift. But like I said, I'm knitting a sample, but I will get the sample back when Deborah's not using it. The other thing, am I going to take this out of the plastic? I think I might have to. From Turtle Pearl, and lovely Emily at Turtle Pearl is a local dyer to me. How lucky am I for that? I had ordered from her a skein of wild rose with the yellow mini. I'm going to flip this over and show you what it looks like when it's knit up. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I'm getting quite a collection of Emily's Turtle Pearl yarn. And spoiler alert, the 5,000 subscriber giveaway will have some Turtle Pearl yarn in it. that's what I'm making up for that one. So those are the only 2 yarny things that came into my life. But like I said, I have an order that I'm going to be placing with Gold House of Yarn. I just have to make a decision. So life. At the beginning of the podcast, I will have shown you some pretty flowers. I went to the nursery and picked up and then planted out my pots. We put up our screen tent, so we're trying to get outside I'm trying to get outside as much as possible, but we've had some really weird and wacky weather. So I haven't been out as much as I would like, but I am going out later. As soon as I'm finished here and tidy up, I'm heading out there. I will edit this podcast out in the screen tent, quite possibly watching the start of the Tour de France. And then when I'm done editing you, I will be doing a little bit of spinning. Anyway, I've already said that. Screen tent is up. I will have had some footage of shenanigans on the deck. Brad was finally able to stain it. Fantastic. Last Saturday, we went out in the T-Bird after work. It was a beautiful day. I think it was 27 degrees and sunny. So at the end, I will have a little footage of our cruise out in the T-Bird. We went to a beer garden and I drank wine, and Brad had a flight of beer, and we were right on the Petitcodiac River in Riverview. We were at Holy Whale Brewing Company, and they have a beautiful deck overlooking the river and umbrellas for shade, which is important because Brad is from Newfoundland, which doesn't get a lot of sun, and he hates being in the sun and feels like he's going to combust. So I always have to make sure there's shade options for him wherever we go in the summer, or else he won't go. So yeah, that'll be some footage at the end. I think that's all I recorded. Like I said, you may see some Archie footage. I don't know if he'll be here before I start editing and uploading. If he is, I'll put some in, but if not, I'll have some on Instagram, I'm sure, because he's had a haircut and he's cute as a dickens, but he's also a bugger. Oh, he's just a bugger. So we've had to, pick up all of our Amazon delivery boxes because he just loves cardboard, and we've had to break them down, which we should anyway, but those things add up. As I said, we're 5 weeks out from the wedding. I have found my dress. Finally, I did an online order because I couldn't find anything locally. It has gone to the seamstress to be fitted. I will have some pictures for you either wedding day or maybe before, we'll see. But I will be sharing some of those details with you because it's an important part of my life, and I feel like I need to share this stuff with my friends, and because I'm just here talking to my friends. I'm not just talking to my phone, I'm talking to my friends. Yeah, we've got a busy run at work. After the wedding, I've got staff members going on vacation, so we'll be working and covering off those shifts. Brad does most of the first round, and I do most of the second round. So it's going to be a busy summer. I feel like I've got to cram my summer into the next 3.5, 4 weeks. Which, wah. But hopefully September is a beautiful month and I can enjoy that. And yeah, we'll see what autumn brings. Autumn starts bringing yarn shows. I've mentioned before, I'm teaching at Woolstock East, run by Sisterhood Fibers, and I'm also going to be teaching, and that's in September, and I'm going to be teaching in October at the Nova Scotia Fiber Festival in Amherst. So if you need any information on that, I will have the Woolstock East linked below. I still don't have the links for the Nova Scotia Fiber Festival because I have to sell the registration off of a link for myself. So my lovely friend Deborah, I've mentioned this before, is finishing up my website. I have a website that has stuff on it, but ideally I want to be able to sell patterns outside of Ravelry for those who don't use Ravelry for various reasons. And registration for that class will be there as well. So I am going to wrap this up because it's well over an hour again. Surprise, surprise. I have to go have some lunch and start editing you. I'm going to go out into the screen room and have to listen to that banging and grinding, but it's fine. It's fine. The sun is shining. I need to get out there while the weather's good because it's going to rain tomorrow and quite possibly on Monday as well, our other 2 days off. So I could be inside the house the next 2 days. Wah wah. All right. That's it. Happy knitting, my friends. Happy sipping. I will see you in 3-ish weeks, and hopefully I'll see you on Ravelry or Instagram in between times. Cheers.